Previously, I showed a clip of a pastor that pretty much told his congregation that the Delta variant to the COVID virus was somehow a hoax or something like that. He also told his congregation, if you come here with a mask, we're going to throw you out of church. If you want to wear a mask or social distance, supposedly to stop yourself from getting a vaccine, go to the First Baptist Church or Second Baptist Church. Don't come to our church. Don't come to our evangelical church here. I mean, so everybody thinks it's the right wing that's so bad with why people are so misinformed. That's true. It is also Republicans that are adopting certain philosophies that also make their people less likely to take the vaccine. And in other words, they're killing their own. But that's not the only problem. We have reporters who simply seem to lack critical thinking in the way they ask questions. And the way they ask questions, instead of allowing information to flow or allowing people to get the information that will make them make the right decisions, it actually opens more questions because it gives one the impression that, oh, maybe you shouldn't really have to do that because after all, the president said this before, and then now look at what he's saying. Check this out, then we'll take it on the other side.
The president's message was get vaxxed or masked, and now it's get vaxxed and masked in some cases. So does he regret sending the message that it was a binary choice there?
Well, Leisha, I think that those comments were back in May. And as I noted at the time, the Delta variant was by no means a variant as the variant that it is today. It was not even a. I can look at this specific data, but it was 99% of cases were not Delta at the time. That was based on guidance from the CDC. Today, they're changing their guidance. They're changing their advice to the American public, their public health advice, based on evolving data and an evolving historical guidance. That virus. That's exactly what they should be doing.
And then on the CDC guidance, why did the president say, if you've been fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask? Let me repeat, if you are fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask, if it was possible that that was going to turn out not to be true.
Well, Peter, I think we're all dealing with an evolving virus where there's no playbook and no historic precedent. And what the American people should feel confident in is that we are going to continue to be guided by science, look at public health data in order to provide new guidance if it's needed to save lives, protect the American people. When he made those comments back in May, we were dealing with a very different strain of the virus than we are today. And Delta is more transmissible. It's spreading much more quickly. It was nearly non-existent in the United States back in May.
And so my last one would be, you guys have been saying this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. If that is coming from the CDC, is the president satisfied with the leadership at the CDC right now?
The president is satisfied with the fact that they are continuing to look at public health data and provide public health guidance to the American public about how they can protect their lives and the lives of loved ones around them.
And if it's a pandemic of the unvaccinated still, then why do vaccinated people need to put the masks back on?
Well, Peter, first of all, I would say again, just to go back to this chart, which I will handily point to again, if you were vaccinated, it can save your life. And I think the clear data shows that this pandemic is killing, is hospitalizing, is making people very sick who are not vaccinated. That still continues to be the case, regardless of what the mask guidance looks like.
The vaccines work, which this sign says that they do. Then why do people who have had the vaccine need to now wear masks, the same as people who have not had it?
Because the public health leaders in our administration have made the determination based on data that that is a way to make sure they're protected, their loved ones are protected, and that's an extra step given the transmissibility of the virus.
Now look, the virus is changing. If the virus is changing and it behaves differently, then of course the rules to fight the virus would likely change as well. That is why previously you would need to wear a mask if you were completely vaccinated. Now you're asked to wear a mask if you're completely vaccinated, not simply not to get remnants of a virus in your system, but because if you are infected and vaccinated, even though you will not necessarily get very sick or sick at all, there's a possibility because of the viral load in your system that you will also transmit the virus, even though you are as healthy as they can because your system is fighting the virus appropriately. So therefore, you wear a mask for the total community, for the protection of the community. Now, we wouldn't have to do that if we didn't have a large percentage of unvaccinated people. So most of the people that will complain are unvaccinated, and the reason the vaccinated ones will have to wear a mask is because there are many people unvaccinated. The reason the virus is going to change and continuously mutate is that if you have a whole lot of unvaccinated people who are catching the virus, as the virus replicates, it gives it more opportunities to mutate. And mutate means changing its structure, which eventually will likely defeat the vaccine that we're all protected by now. These are simple things, and if the right questions are asked that really need to be answered, most Americans will get it. But if it is made that it's not scientific, if it is made that somehow there's some trickery here, or there's some trying to control you there, or why did you say this before and now you're saying this, as if you were mistaken to say what you said before, when what you're dealing with is a virus that's changing because people are not following the rules of today. Folks, reporters are just as bad, many of them at that White House, as the right-wing media, as well as the evangelical preachers and the Republican politicians that are willfully ignorant. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.